Hello, friends, and welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Time for a little Cowboys vs. Lions preview, and this one, kind of a must-win for the Cowboys. Yeah, it's still early in the year, but you can't start the season 1-3 and expect to make a playoff push. So, it's at home for the Cowboys this week. That's why they're 3-point favorites according to BetDSI. If you think the Cowboys are going to win, go to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys120. Put some money on it. I'm considering putting money on the Cowboys this week, although they kind of burned me last week. Wasn't too happy about that one. The Lions, meanwhile, fresh off that huge upset win over the Patriots. One matchup which we'll talk more about later on in the show that I want you guys to just remember right now. Cowboys offense is 31st in the NFL. It's been very bad, but the ground game we know can and should be great. The Lions are dead last in the NFL in run defense. I want you guys putting in your score predictions in the comments throughout the show. DM me on Twitter once you do that with your score prediction. Don't forget the team that wins, of course. And I'll pick one winner if you guys get it right. Send you guys some money. So, again, DM me on Twitter with your score prediction. Only one winner, so it's the first one to get the score exactly right. No duplicates. DM me on Twitter. We'll give away some money to you guys. We'll talk now about some injuries for the Cowboys, and there are some to monitor. Now, DeMarcus Lawrence popped up this week on the injury report. He's going to be fine. He was a full participant in Wednesday's practice. That means he's going to play. Xavier Woods, I think, is going to play as well. Same with Cole Beasley. Then it gets a little bit more dicey. Jeff Heath, I think he'll play. I'll list him as questionable for now, but he kind of, I think, is maybe more of a 30% chance he doesn't play, so almost kind of in between probable and questionable. Other guys who we know aren't going to play, Travis Frederick is still out with his Guillain-Barré syndrome. No timetable yet for when he's actually going to come back. Sean Lee won't be listed as out until Saturday or Sunday, but he's not going to play. That hamstring's not in good shape right now. He is going to miss at least this week, probably several weeks. And then two big question marks on the interior of the defensive line. Antwaun Woods, Malik Collins, a knee and a groin there for Collins and Woods. I don't know if they'll both play. They both might miss. I would hope that at least one plays. Otherwise, you're in really, really thin shape at DT. Let's talk now some keys to the game this week for the Dallas Cowboys. First up, look, you have got to feed Zeke. And last year, producer Brett always made fun of me for saying, oh, it's feed Zeke every single week. Kind of feel like we need a reminder, though, because we haven't really fed Zeke this year. Now, he has not been as good as he can be, and the game script has mattered, and that's why we haven't seen as much runs for Zeke Elliott. And yet he's still tied for the NFL lead in rushing yards, despite not being as good as we expect Zeke to be. And this matchup against the Lions is a good one. The NFL's worst run defense, granted it's only 3 games, but still, he should have a bit of a feast here. Hopefully the offensive line also fares much, much better. So let me know, folks, in the comments section, how many rush yards you think Zeke will have against the Detroit Lions. I think he's going to have a big one there. Oh, by the way, I love Zeke this week in FanDuel, and I'm hosting my own game, so DM me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney if you guys want in. I got a special promo code for you, too. We'll get you some free money on FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/chatsports. DM me. We'll get you hooked up, and if you beat me, I'll give you guys some extra money as well. So sign up with FanDuel, folks, and play Zeke this week. Trust me. All right, speaking of Zeke, the offensive line, they got to bounce back. All right, the offensive line, it's almost unfair because the offensive line is like average to okay right now. Like, it's not bad, but this offense is built around the offensive line being among the 5 best, if not the best in the NFL. That's the problem right now for this offense. It's not doing enough. You clearly miss Travis Frederick, even though Looney hasn't been bad, but he's not Frederick. And Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, even they don't quite look 100% right. I don't know what's going on with the offensive line. It has to change, though. If you're the Cowboys, you need better play from your offensive line, and that starts this week against the Detroit Lions. No surprise, you also need better play from Dak Prescott. Now, again, there's not just one thing wrong with the offense. The receiving core, the tight end, the play calling, the game plan, the O-line, and the quarterback play all share some semblance of blame. But the great quarterbacks can win in spite of that. So far, Dak hasn't done that. Again, it's not all Dak's fault, but he does need to be better. Can he get to the 200 yards passing this week? That'd be great. Like, that's the ideal thing with me for Dak. Like, can we get to 200 yards passing? Maybe not 400 because that means you're probably lost. But I just need to see Dak have more success and not be quite as hesitant in the pocket. He just doesn't seem to trust his offensive line or his receivers quite yet, which, again, it's early in the year with a bunch of new pieces. Maybe it makes some sense. But let me know, folks, how many yards you think Zeke will have against the Lions this year, or Dak will have against the Lions this week through the air. All right, 2 more keys to the game. No more busted coverages. It was an issue last week, 2 touchdowns, 1 against Cheeto. I'm going to blame another one against Kevon Frazier. Xavier was also involved in that first Cheeto burn. Cannot have busted coverage. The defense kind of relies more on a bend but don't break, and when you bust the coverage, you break badly. And then finally, can I get an INT? I just want one, okay? The Cowboys somehow are one of 2 teams in the NFL that have yet to force an interception this year. Give me that. This defense, guys, is good. Look at that. 3rd in yards per game, 7th in points allowed. I tried to tell you guys in advance, it's a top 10 defense. But you got to force turnovers too. And right now the Cowboys have just 2 takeaways this year. That is tied for 28th. You got to start forcing mistakes and get your offense into a great position. A nice interception sets things up much better for the offense. So give me that INT this week, please, Cowboys secondary. Also, folks, go subscribe to our Cowboys Report YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. All of our great Cowboys coverage all in one spot. Trying to get to 5K subscribers. We think everyone already has, but keep it flowing. Tell your friends. We've got some great Cowboys coverage all right there, so hit us up with that subscribe button. Well, taking out to a quick run-through of the Cowboys' projected depth charts this week for the Lions. Some minor changes. Quarterback, it's not going to change anytime soon. There is no reason to play Rush or White. They are not your franchise guy going forward. At halfback, again, no changes. Maybe you try and get some more fullback action there. Jameis Wall can catch and hasn't really been used in that way, which isn't a big surprise because it's Linehan, but still, got to get Zeke going this week against a bad Lions run defense. At receiver, I would not be surprised if this is the week we see Bryce Butler activated. Now, look, you guys know I'm not the world's biggest Bryce Butler fan. But I would rather, like I did last year, I would much rather have Bryce Butler active and playing and being an outside receiver than Terrence Williams. So I hope that Butler's activated this week. We'll see if the Cowboys actually do that. Beyond that, you have Cole Beasley as the slot. Hearns has been pretty quiet this year. You need Gallup to get going because he's been pretty off. Maybe you give Butler a chance because you got to get somebody to produce consistently at receiver. I don't know if that's Butler, but give him a chance here because it's not Terrence Williams. I promise you that. All right, tight end again, no changes. Rico was active again last week, and the Cowboys, Linehan, and they slapped in the face to every Cowboys fan out there, came out in a 3 tight end set because that was stupid and made no sense. Hopefully we see less tight end sets and maybe get Rico involved in the red zone just a little bit more. As I mentioned earlier, offensive line got to be better. That's a big reason why I think Dak has struggled because the offensive line, which should be elite, has been average at best, and that's not okay for the Cowboys. They have got to find a way to get going and get the offensive line back, even without Frederick, back to playing at the level that we expect, at least close enough to it. Today's show was brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys120 for that sweet, sweet 120% deposit bonus. What that means is put down $100. They'll give you $120 for free for a grand total of $220 to bet with on BetDSI if you use promo code Cowboys120 at chatsports.com/bet. On to the defensive line now, where I'm going to go back to listing Taco as the starter above Randy Gregory, because the reality is that Taco is the starter on 1st and 2nd downs and rundowns. Now, Gregory plays plenty. It's almost a 50-50 type split there. It's a committee at that other defensive end spot. But Gregory hasn't looked that great. Frankly, Taco's outplayed him this year, so hopefully that changes. And hopefully Gregory finally gets his sack this week. Let me know if you guys think he will. Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. I hope so, but at this point, I almost might have to wait till I see it to believe it because he just has not made the impact that he should have beyond the stupid penalty that he took in week 3. All right, linebacker, here's a change. Sean Lee, guys, he's not going to play. So as a result, Leighton Van Esch, and base this a little bit more almost like the nickel set. When it comes to nickel, your top 2 guys are going to be Jalen Smith and Leighton Van Esch. Then on 3rd downs, Damian Wilson will come in at the Sam linebacker spot, and you'll probably see more of Joe Thomas as well. Maybe a little bit of Justin March-Lord, and maybe Covington actually gets activated this week. I'm not sure if the Cowboys will do that, but that is worth watching. So speaking of Smith and LV, since they'll be your top 2 guys at linebacker this week, who will have more tackles? Type J for Jalen, type L for LVE. Van Esch was fantastic last week. I wouldn't be all that surprised if it was actually LVE that did it again this week. All right, on now to the defensive backs, where Byron Jones remains your #1 guy. Heath is battling an ankle injury. I think he'll be okay. Hope he is, because I don't like Kevon Frazier in coverage. Xavier Woods was okay last week. They got to get going a little bit more in that safety end because they just were off last week, I think, thanks to injuries and Woods getting back in the mix of it. So hopefully things are okay there. But Anthony Brown, I know you guys don't like him, but he's actually been okay. He's actually been pretty good, frankly, even though I still prefer Jordan Lewis myself. All right, on to special teams where, well, once again, things do not change. It is the exact same lineup that it'll be pretty much all year long unless the Cowboys do decide they want that 4th-round comp pick and end up cutting Deontay Thompson. But as of right now, those are your special teams guys for the Cowboys. Speaking of special, this Mizzen and Main shirt is super special. Get one of your own at comfortable.af. You will not own, folks, a more comfortable dress shirt, or really any shirt, than a Mizzen and Main shirt. Get yours today, comfortable.af. Trust me, it's worth it. All right, time now for a key matchup, and I have hinted at it all show long. It is the Cowboys offensive line versus the Lions defensive line. Back to basics. You have got to run the football. If the Cowboys can't move the ball in an impressive fashion on the ground against the Lions, blow it all up. Because this Lions run defense is not good. It is dead last in the NFL in yards allowed on the ground. And this Cowboys offensive line, even without Frederick, even with Sewell still getting used to playing in the NFL, even with Tyron and Zach Martin not quite being themselves yet, they have got to move the football against the Lions. They need to be able to pound the ball up the middle and get Zeke going early and often. This is not a fear-inspiring Lions front four. The Cowboys offensive line should win this matchup, just like they should have last week, and it should result in a big, big success on the ground for Zeke Elliott. All right, folks, you see it right there. Get your score predictions in the comments section for Cowboys versus Lions. Let me know what you guys think the score is going to be. I assume most of you have the Cowboys winning, but let me know what you think the score is going to be in this one. In the meantime, we'll bring up what Lena and I have, producer Lena have as well. Again, Cowboys 3-point favorites in this one. I've got the Cowboys winning 20-13. Lena has the Cowboys winning 17-10. Again, let me know what you guys think. And then once you guys get your score predictions in the comments section, send them to me on Twitter, @WhatGoingDowney. If you guys get it exactly right and you're the first to get it, we'll send you guys some money. But only if you DM me on Twitter. Don't just tweet it at me. Don't put it in the comment section. You have to DM me on Twitter. It's way easier for me to keep track of everything. So do that, folks, and we'll see you guys after the game for some highlights between the Cowboys and the Lions.